Police have made an arrest in the shooting that killed a young father with his child in the vehicle.
News Channel 8's Alessandra Young spoke with the family and shares how they are doing.
I spoke with the victim's family about the arrest, and they tell me that they are grateful to St. Pete Police for bringing justice for Tyrone. But at the end of the day, all they want is their loved one back.
I'm glad justice has been served and they got him.
Tyrone Howard was shot and killed on September 7th with his one-year-old daughter in the back of his car.
My granddaughter seems very inconsolable. At such a young age, they do know their mother and father. You know, she points to the picture. She says, Dad, Dad.
On Monday, St. Pete Police arrested Jamal Black, who is now facing a second-degree murder charge. Police say Howard was shot while driving, then crashed into a parked car at an auto repair shop on Emerson Avenue South.
Detectives were able to find communications between the victim and the suspect. They were planning to meet that day and do some kind of drug exchange. And once they had met, something happened, an altercation had occurred, which then ultimately ended in the life of Tyrone Howard.
Howard's family says even though this does not bring Tyrone back, they are happy an arrest has been made.
It's just a relief to have him off the streets. You don't have to worry about him harming no one else.
Howard's family says on top of his young daughter, he has a baby boy on the way who will be here in 2 months. They say this is such a tragic situation where his children will no longer be able to experience the love of their father.
His, daughter's so young. She'll have pictures and videos of him like we all will, but, her and her brother won't be able to grow up with their dad, won't be able to see them, and yeah, the guy is locked up, and, he won't be able to do this to anybody else. But at the end of the day, all he wants is Tyrone.
Howard's family tells me that they will be participating in a walk tomorrow night to help end gun violence and raise awareness for gun owners. They say it's going to be right here in St. Pete from 5:30 to 7:30, and I'll have all of the information posted for that on our website at WFLA.com. In St. Pete, I'm Alessandra Young, 8 on your side.
A Hillsborough County jury spent the day deliberating the fate of 5 men accused of killing a 4-year-old girl. Suni Bell was shot and killed as she was riding in the back of her family car in 2021. The 5 men arrested are now charged with first-degree murder. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson live in Tampa tonight with the very latest. Jeff.
Good evening. The jury began their deliberations just after 9:30 this morning. They stayed at it all day.
Little Suni Bell was in her uncle's car in August of 2021. They were on their way to a family event when her uncle became lost and pulled over to look for directions. When he did, 3 cars came up and opened fire. Suni Bell was hit and killed in the barrage of gunfire. Monday, as prosecutors were in the process of delivering their closing arguments, one of the defendants spoke out.
Someone shot at me, somebody shot me.
Zavante Sampson said, "Someone shot at us, someone shot back," then offered somewhat of an apology.
I feel sorry for the little girl, somebody shot at us.
So that was yesterday. Today, we still do not have a verdict. Just around 5:40 this afternoon or this evening, the judge brought the jury back into chambers. The defense counsel was there. He talked to them briefly, and then sent them home for the evening. They had not reached a verdict. He'll allow them to go home for the evening, take a rest, come back at it tomorrow morning starting at 8:30 to begin their deliberations again. Live in Tampa, Jeff Patterson, 8 on your side.
Thank you, Marilyn. Tonight, 2 men are dead after getting into a gun battle with each other. That's according to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Witnesses say the men were in a heated argument that led to a shooting in a 3300 block of Willow Road in Waimama. Both men died at the hospital. More than 70 veterans are back in the Bay Area tonight after spending the day in our nation's capital. News Channel 8's Ryan Arbogast reports on today's honor flight from St. Pete Clearwater Airport.
It's a procession that is full of smiles here at the airport as 75 veterans make their way back from Washington, D.C. And they didn't know they're getting a big surprise. Attention! Honor at the gate after a day of honor in our nation's capital. Leading the charge, Vietnam veteran Richard Fink, the hero in this gray polo.
I had 2 tours, so, it's It just feels good. It just feels good.
Richard and 74 other veterans from World War II to Afghanistan taking a trip free of charge to visit war memorials and pay their respects to the fallen.
I had some friends on the memorial and, had a chance to at least touch their name again. It's been 50 years, but yeah, it was very, very moving.
The men and women going on the day-long trip as a family, even if they've gone to D.C. before.
Absolutely. It was, I felt like a celebrity, actually, but it was something I've really not experienced before, so it was a one of a kind.
Each one greeted by a surprise celebration as they walked through the terminal.
Let's hear it for the veterans!
Red, white, and blue galore. Signs, local organizations, and even kids all saying the same thing.
Thank you so much for your service. Thank you.
A special ending to a special day. One to make up for their first trip back to the States, for many more than 50 years ago.
As a Vietnam vet and coming back when I did the initial time, no welcome, okay? No welcome at all. This is just, it gives you goosebumps. It's just so wonderful that people recognize what we did over there.
There's one more honor flight left for this season in our neck of the woods. They'll be leaving in late October. Reporting in Pinellas County, Ryan Arbogast, 8 on your side.
Some St. Petersburg residents have been shocked to see their water bills, some in the tens of thousands of dollars.
And we've been trying to get answers about why these bills are so high for a while now. And today, we spoke with a former city utility employee who had some thoughts about that. News Channel 8's Georgia MacArthur joining us live in St. Petersburg with the story. Georgia.
Keith and Melissa, now the former employee who I spoke to says she can't pinpoint exactly why residents are receiving sky-high water bills, but she did say the city of St. Pete missed out on key safeguards that would have prevented a $50,000 balance from slipping through. A nearly $50,000 water bill in St. Pete. A former employee who didn't want to reveal herself says the paper trail on this account shows why bills like this should never get this far.
Especially for residential customers, normally a bill wouldn't probably go over $200 a month.
Work orders show Ashley Wright's meter was replaced twice in November. One technician noted the meter snapped because it was installed too tight. Should a cracked meter have triggered a full account review?
Yes, and the reason for that is because it can skew her consumption and cause her bill to go higher. There could be an issue there. So there should be a full review of the account.
She says the account should have been put on hold until the issue was fixed.
Usually there's a process called off cycles, and you put the bill into a holding pattern until you can find out what the problem is, whether there's a city issue or whether there's a private issue.
The city issued Wright a $1,500 credit earlier this month after Aid on Your Side reported on her bill. But that adjustment was based on a house site leak, calculation of more than 125,000 gallons, a high consumption rate.
That number that they used wasn't even a part of her consumption until after the issue started. You don't include the consumption where the issue occurred.
The former employee calls that calculation flawed.
Her consumption on this particular reading came out to be 21,700, but what she's stating here is her average is 1,300. So if it comes back that there's an issue on the city side, the adjustment would be adjusted down to her average, which is 1,300.
In a statement to Aid on Your Side, the city also claims on January 21st, an unauthorized individual turned the water back on at Wright's residence without notifying the city. But Aid on Your Side reviewed records that show Wright's account remained active until July of this year, with no sign of tampering charges ever assessed. And Mayor Ken Welch says the city plans on rolling out a new multi-billion-dollar billing system that will reduce these errors. But the former employee I spoke to says until there is oversight, checks and balances, and more training from employees, she believes more residents could be facing bills they shouldn't owe. Reporting live in St. Pete, I'm Georgia MacArthur, 8 on Your Side.